I've bigged up my new partner Sally in about half a dozen videos now on YouTube. That's right, and I think I should, because she's my partner, and I believe she's a gift of God. I've not made such a song and dance about my fantastic boys, though. They've suffered greatly to show me a lot of love, in spite of hearing many lies that understandably made them start doubting me. It's wrong then to overlook such a marvellous gift of God as such fantastic children who haven't abandoned me, even though I feel their brother has, at a time when there's so much in my life that's miserable and really winds me up. I love my boys dearly, and they're definitely as important as my new partner Sally. And so to balance out the credit I've been giving my gorgeous new partner, I'm going to talk about my fantastic, changing boys. When they were younger, the two boys were very different.
Well, the younger one, Matthew, used to happily climb a ladder to help me clean the garage roof. Of course, I'd help him get down again straight away. He also used to happily help me fix the toilet when it was broken. And he'd try foods several times just to be sure he didn't like them. He used to love going on roller coaster rides as soon as he was tall enough. Sometimes even before he was tall enough. And before he'd learnt to swim, he nearly drowned 2 different times when he jumped into the deep end of a swimming pool before either his mum or myself had put armbands on him. And when we were on holiday, he jumped off the boat into the sea to be with me. And when he came off his bike and had to go to Birmingham Children's Hospital with a ruptured bowel, his only regret of that near fatal incident was that he missed Olympic week at school. And at 12 now he wears his hair long in spite of the prejudice he gets, and like my partner isn't afraid to like the delicate side of life as well as the more edgy side. He's also always been passionate, outspoken and able to win arguments with adults. He even proudly emailed me to say his mum lets him watch movies like Saw
I want to play a game.
after reporting me for letting him watch movies like Scooby-Doo.
Sandwich, look out.
In summary then, he's been what you'd call a thrill seeker or adrenaline junkie for most of his life. And now the older boy, Gavin, was very different. Even at 4 days old, when I threw him in the air as part of a cuddling game, he was very anxious and didn't like me doing it. Tried a second time, exactly the same reaction. It wasn't just he had an off day. And when he was young, he hated going to swimming pools for the first 6 months. He'd only go round the edge of the pool and spend about 15 minutes of the whole hour-long session actually in the water with armbands, a floaty ring, a floaty board, and holding on to one of his parents. He was very anxious as a kid. And he wouldn't go on roller coasters just because he was tall enough. He'd often wait over a year before he'd try to go on a roller coaster. And he'd seem like he was dying if he ate a food that he didn't like. He was shy and cautious, but quite reasonable, with a very keen interest in science. He had long hair once, but cut it, and he later said he believed in vain that this would impress his mum, and because it didn't, he now regrets cutting it. He had a weird, obscure sense of humour, and he noticed the merits of Syriac's style this was years before the Ribena ad picked up on the silly upbeat tune, side-scrolling mayhem, and even had ridiculous blackcurrant helicopters at the end.
The fruitiest, tastiest, juiciest, blackcurrantiest Ribena. You can't get any more Ribenery.
Though he was streets ahead over many adults around him, in his thinking, he still wasn't as outspoken as his brother. So you see, my son Gavin was very cautious, but also very thoughtful. He was, by most people's standards, reserved, shy, thoughtful, and not an adrenaline junkie. So given these two very different backgrounds, which boy do you think wants this for his birthday? And which boy do you think has bought himself one of these? Amazingly, it's the opposite to what you might predict. The younger boy Matthew now spends days in his room, likes the music of Haydn, wants to design and build computers, and he was the one that recently bought the expensive keyboard. Now the older boy Gavin enjoys trampolining, biking, scootering, skateboarding, and he's casual about his injuries. And he wants one of these for his 14th birthday. He even recently ate a ghost chili and would do it again.
Well, look, both boys were fantastic when they were younger and are fantastic now. Their attitude to life seems to have flipped though. The one previously cautious now seeks out risk, and the one previously casual is now more cautious and thoughtful. Now I know it's a bit fake to see one boy as a thrill seeker and the other one as just thoughtful. Now my religious conversion, where I believe now that I count too, means I've radically changed as well. But it doesn't mean my previous traits are abandoned. It just means they've become abilities in the background. And similarly, with my radically changed children, their new personalities aren't a replacement for their old ones, but an enhancement. Their previous attitudes are still there, they just don't take centre stage anymore.